See, now this would be just an ordinary pile of litter, but it's made really weird by the fact there's a light bulb in the middle of it. Let me make this clear. Just because you have seen that pile of litter, don't take that as a cue to come up with any bright ideas for rubbish jokes, okay? Okay, welcome. This video marks the end of my stay at the Olympics, which is sad. You know, that's having a good time, and it's the same old story that when you start having a good time, or when you finally finish adjusting, or when you settle in, or whatever, then it all ends, and that's it. It just feels a bit, now that it's done. But the Paralympics are still on the way, so that's alright. As I'm recording this now, it is Sunday morning, and the closing ceremony is happening this evening. Just to finally close it off. Today I'm not working, which I guess is kind of a shame, but what am I missing? I'm missing out on listening to the closing ceremony. Whereas, hang on a second, there we are. I'm trying to adapt ways to hold the camera so that I can block the mic from the wind, just so that when I'm recording it doesn't go where was I? Yeah, the closing ceremony. So I could have, well no, I couldn't have been, but I could be working tonight, you know, if they'd have put me on tonight, and then I would have been able to listen to the closing ceremony, but I can watch it at home, so it seems like I did kind of get the better deal. But, you know, never mind. Didn't work the opening ceremony either, but then again, I'd have only been able to listen to it. And that brilliant Mr. Bean sketch where he was just playing Chariots of Fire, doing the synthesizer bit, I'd have missed it. All I'd have heard is everyone laughing at it and be like, "What's so funny?" And I've missed it. I've kind of gone off tangent. As I said, today is the last day of the Olympics, and as stands at the moment, I believe that Great Britain is third in the medals table, which is pretty damn good. I think that's certainly the best we've done that I know of. And I've seen 5, maybe 6 Olympics, but I don't really remember 2 of them. The ones I remember are Athens, Beijing, Sydney, and this one. That's 4. Happen every 4 years, so 92, 96, 2000, 4, 8, 12. Okay, so 6. I've been alive for 6 Olympics, but I can only remember 4, which is fine. So I wasn't really paying attention to it in 92 and 96. In 92 I was born, and in 96 I had better things to worry about, like toy cars. I've got to do a little bit of picking up today. I've got to pick up some stuff, and then I'm going to sit down for a while and reflect on it, because I feel like that's what I should do because of how big this experience has been. You know, I've kind of told you bits and pieces about it on the way there and on the way back and stuff like that, but it's kind of, I think I just need a bit of time to now sit down. That's why I'm going to use this empty park that you can see behind me. I'm just going to sit down and reflect on what's gone on, what I've experienced, what I've learned, what's changed and stuff like that, because it's been fairly big. It's been a big part of my life, really. I mean, it's only been 2 weeks, but it's still had that kind of resonance on me as if I've been there for years and it's left its mark, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pick some stuff up, and I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Although it'll only be a flash frame for you guys. Whatever. Okay, so I got my things, and now it's time for that kind of... Where's that house gone? Used to be a house there. Where's that gone? I used to think there was 2 there. Where have they all gone? I didn't even notice that on the way down. Oh, let's get out of the sunlight. Oh, it's exactly the same way here to get to the shops as I am now, and I didn't even notice that. How strange. Anyway, yeah, so I'm still trying to keep you out of the sun because I know you get those light streaks when you're in the sunlight, which is a bit bad. So let's try and see if I can sum this up very well. What I'm kind of looking at is this experience just sort of really changed me, I guess. It's given me that kind of confidence that as a vlogger I kind of needed, you know, because it's all very well and good being able to do it in your home and when no one's around, but there's not really ever going to be a situation where you're going to be at home or there's going to be anyone around where you want to vlog, because nothing interesting is going on. You know, there's always going to be people around you when something good's going on, and you need that kind of confidence to just be able to get your camera out and go for it. And I feel that's what this job has given me, because of how I had to deal with people, you know. I had to interact with loads of people every day, thousands of people every day, literally thousands of people every day, and from all over the world as well. It's not just thousands of people here in England, thousands of people from across the world. I had to interact with some French people to tell them that I was going to take a photo of them with the Olympic torch and all of that, and it took a very long time to explain to them that's what I was going to do, through language and through gestures as well. That it was a challenge, basically, but one I'm glad I was presented with, because it has helped me to change myself, I guess, in a way that has been good for me, and in a way that I wouldn't have been able to do without it. You know, if I hadn't have gotten this job, I would have just been still just trundling along doing what I'm doing, and these would have been rubbish, basically. So that's been good. It's also kind of just helped me in general. Like, normally when it came to asking questions to people, like, I'm sure I've brought this up already. I mean, I've brought up a lot of this stuff. It's just a kind of summarisation. But I said how I wasn't very comfortable asking people, like, how are you? You know, and now I can, stupid fly, I can not only ask that, but also things beyond that, and just hold conversations with people a lot better, which was something I couldn't do. I'm still working on being able to start them. That's still something I'm kind of funny about. I can't quite do, like, without it feeling a bit awkward for me. But on the whole, it's just helped in so many ways. It's helped me grow as a person, as well as paying, and as well as, you know, like the CV stuff that I mentioned, you know, about experience and all of that kind of stuff. It's made me into a better person, I think an easier person to get on with, because I'm able to interact with people that I either wouldn't normally interact with or wouldn't be able to interact with because of my own limitations. And in situations where I'd normally be sort of not defensive but quite quiet, you know, I'd just kind of sit down and let people get on with it, and then only chip in if I had something meaningful to say, or if the conversation was turned to me. Now it's more of a case of, you know, I can be more involved, I guess. That's the main thing that this has done. Being part of this Olympics in the way that I have has changed me in ways I didn't think that it would. This all sounds really cliched, but it's kind of true. It's just quite, I don't know, I find it quite weird that this has happened. And then there's the Paralympics as well coming up, so I've still got time to learn even more new skills and ways to deal with people, interact with people, and all of that kind of thing. So there's still time to learn those skills that I think I'm missing out on, and improve the ones that I think I've gained and that I think need improving on. The only concern I have is that after the Paralympics, you know, after everything is done with, after my contract with Coca-Cola ends, after all the Olympic and Paralympic hype dies down, my only concern is that I revert to the kind of position I had on this before. So I turn back into the sort of introverted, quiet, shy person, rather than maintaining this this better persona. I don't know. But I'm not being insincere with how I am with people. This is stuff that just kind of... Initially I thought I was being insincere by asking people how they were and all that, because it sounds bad, but initially I didn't care. You know, it was like, you know, it just didn't matter. But now I'm not insincere, I'm not being disingenuous. This is... I'm curious to find this stuff out, and I'm hoping that I maintain that kind of empathy with people, you know, that I can just ask them how they are, how their day has been, and ask them questions about things and be interested in them without being insincere. So thank you, Coca-Cola, and thank you, Olympics, because you've done wonders for me. You really have. Wonders for me in ways that I didn't think you would be able to. Only slight concern is that my voice is still knackered, but whatever. So while I was out, I picked up some of these. These are hazardously sour sweets, and they come with a warning on. So if you have a sensitive mouth, don't eat them. And they've also got a choking hazard on them. And they used to have some kind of thing on the back of them where it was like basically a wuss test. You know, the less time you held it in your mouth, the more of a wuss you were. But they seem to have gotten rid of that for some reason. Now, I haven't had these for a good many years. You know, I last had these when I was like in year 8, and these were all the rage. And here's what they look like. They are all nice and innocent. This is watermelon flavour, which is really annoying because I happen to know that watermelon's the worst flavour. But for you, I'm going to have a look at this, see if they're as bad as I remember them, or maybe they've gotten worse. Who knows? Maybe people were complaining they weren't good enough. Okay. Well, I was about to say no, they're alright so far, but they're really not. Jesus. I'm gonna have a look and see what's in this stuff. I think there's something in the centre which just explodes when you open it. When you crack it in your mouth, and it's just... it just puts loads of sourness in your mouth. I haven't even gotten that far yet, but it's starting to leak through. So it's like watermelon Bacardi breezes. That was my first ever alcoholic drink, that was. My mum gave it to me when we was in Dymchurch once. Oh my god. The glazing agent for this is beeswax. These are so bad for you, no wonder they're called toxic waste. Alright, I'm going to break it now. No, I'm not. I'm going to try. Now it's starting to taste like banana. Ah, there we go. Wow. That was slightly anticlimactic. I always remember them being a bit worse. But yeah, They were definitely worse as a child when I was younger, so either that or I'm eating the wrong flavour. There's a whole ton of them in there though. My mouth does feel a bit tingly though. So I'm going to head home now. And later on today, I am meeting Taylor and Jay, and we are going to watch Ted. So I'll let you know how that goes. I'm not being funny, but my tongue is tingling. This is such a bad decision. So I felt that toxic waste challenge we did earlier with the watermelon was a little bit anticlimactic. So I got myself a lemon one now. You can't really see because the camera won't focus. Focus! Well, it says lemon on there and it's yellow, so that means it's lemon. So if I open this... Come on, watermelon open this way. Oh god, lemon, you suck. One second. Yeah, it just won't open. Come on! Okay, so I finally got in. Here we go. It's a lemon. An already sour fruit, given the toxic waste sour treatment. Damn it. Lemon's bad. Ugh. I mean, I haven't got a problem with lemons. I'll happily, like, if they put a slice of lemon in my Coke, when I go out and have a glass of Coke and they put a lemon in it, I'll have the lemon. You know, I'll just sit there and eat the lemon, you know, so I haven't got a problem with eating lemon, but given the toxic waste treatment, it's a little bit, ugh, covered in beeswax. Lemon isn't very nice. Actually, while we're here, just have a look. Let me read off some of this stuff, okay? So, in a toxic waste suite, thank you, in a toxic waste suite, we have sugar, glucose syrup, put it here, citric acid, malic acid, dextrose, flavourings, colours, and breaks those down into E100, E141, E162 and E163. Remember, E numbers are what you want to keep away from if you're a child. Spirulina extract, whatever that is, you'll have to Google that. Maltodextrin, that sounds like a poison. And then our beeswax glazing agent. Yeah. I think that the company that makes them, Candy Dynamics, is based in Michigan. I think. If I'm reading this right. No, sorry. Michigan Road, Carmel, IN. Whatever state IN is. Is that Illinois? No, that's IL. I want to say Indonesia, but that's not it either. What state is... Ooh. What state is IN? Illinois. It's not Illinois. Indiana? I think IN is Indiana. Kind of disappointing. They were much worse when I was younger. Like, and they were covered in this glazing stuff. It was looked a bit like... It was a bit like the frosting you get on Jelly Babies. That's how coated these sweets were. And now they're not. So it's not as bad anymore, which is a shame. Damn health and safety. But it did used to really affect your mouth. Like, I remember once I had like quite a few in a day. Over the course of the day. and by the end of the day, my tongue had this weird kind of a section on it that was darker than the rest of it, and it was a little bit painful. And I was fairly certain that these sweets had killed those taste buds. But theoretically it should have only killed the sour ones, which it quite clearly hasn't. So there we go. Buy some toxic waste and have a go yourself. Post a video response, why not, of you tackling the... just you having a toxic waste sweet. I think blueberry was considered the safest, but either way, they're not very good. They are good, just not for your mouth. So I'm midway through getting ready to go out, and I have an apple one. Remember these? Yeah. Oh my god. Apple is the worst. Don't have apple. Jeez. Okay, that's stupid hair and wind. It was all nice until the wind started blowing. Anyway, let's go and watch Ted. Hey! Hopefully we can. Don't know. We'll find out. Yeah, we'll do.
I don't like sour.
No, this will be fun. I've done it twice. Yeah. And Jay's enjoying his one. Would you like a tissue to wipe those tears away from your eyes?
I can taste the watermelon. Am I in the right?
Well, that was a jolly nice film. Yeah, no, it was a good film. I think, yeah, no, we're going to have dinner now, somewhere, maybe. We find somewhere. I think it was a very good film, all in all. Loads of laughs, loads of brilliant stuff.
I didn't pull a face.
5 stars, some funny bits.
3 stars, some funny bits.
No, 4.
3.5.
4.
I'll meet you halfway, 3.5.
No, you won't. 4 stars, some funny bits.
3 stars.
Tell you what, Budweiser got their 10 cents worth, didn't they?
I was about to say, do you reckon it was sponsored by Budweiser?
I think Budweiser had a couple of things to say about that film, but other than that, it was alright, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was alright.
There we go.
We need to go on the other bit.
We need to be on the other bit. Where is the other bit? I don't know.
We just go back in and walk around.
So, even though I was kind of messing about earlier, Ted is a good film, and I would advise you to go and see Ted. If you're a fan of Seth MacFarlane's comedy, so Family Guy, American Dad, that sort of stuff, then it's very good. Even if you're not, then it's still pretty good. You can tell that Seth MacFarlane's all over it. It's got the kind of trademarks, I guess. But yeah, do go and see it, and ignore the Budweiser product placement. Anyway, I have a busy day tomorrow because this vlog is extremely long for some reason. It's like 20 minutes. It's pretty mad. I haven't had a long vlog for ages. Since Dimchurch, I think. Anyway, I will say goodnight. Night night.